Now, we opened up a Switch cartridge a while ago. Remember, we opened up Has Been Heroes, and it was kind of a tough time getting it apart, but we did eventually get it apart. Unfortunately, I damaged the casing so much that I really couldn't get it back together well enough, so I kind of wrote it off. It was a cheap game anyway, but what I realized was it was a small game in terms of its file size, and recently, some people have been pointing out that they are noticing with the back of the Switch cartridges are different colors, and it seems to be based on file size. At least that's what a lot of people are figuring here. The bigger games seem to have a different color on the back where the PCB is. So because I only opened up one, and it was definitely a smaller one with something like Has Been Heroes, I figured I would open 2 cartridges today, one of each type, check them out, see how they're different physically, and then close them up and make sure they work. So that'll be fun. But in this case, I figured we would have some fun today and open up a cartridge, not Zelda. I have other ones picked out than Zelda. I want that game to continue working, but we'll take a look, see if they're any different and why it might be different. So let's check them out. Over the weekend, GoNintendo posted an article pointing out that several gamers are noticing a different type of Switch cartridge depending on the game. The 2 types that seem to be highlighted are cartridges with a green backing on the circuit board and cartridges with a dark gray backing. They've also pointed out that one rattles more than the other. However, I've noticed that they both rattle about the same. Today, we'll open up a game from each type of cartridge and see what the difference is. I chose 2 games that came out around the same time. In this case, we'll be taking a look at Axiom Verge, that is printed on a green cart, and Resident Evil Revelations, that is printed on a gray cart. I'm going to do my best to get both of these back together as well, depending on how easily they come apart. I figure a few shots of super glue in the right spots should get these cartridges back together and working. Alright, getting started, I chose to use a blade to open the cartridges. I figured if I used a sharp cutting tool, I could break the seal around the plastic in a precise enough manner to also glue it back together when I'm done. The corners are definitely the best spots to attack first when you're trying to cut into the cart, and rocking the blade back and forth, I managed to get in no problem. Quick tip, when you're trying to open something like this, using a playing card will actually help to keep the plastic separated with just a small enough pressure so that when I'm moving the blade around to other spots, it'll continue to try to open it. It took some time on the first cart, but it did eventually come apart with minimal damage around the edges, leaving me with flat spots to put glue down. This right here is the Axiom Verge cartridge, which appears to be printed on the smallest possible cart since the game is just over 100 megabytes. Now, the Resident Evil Revelations cart came apart much easier, probably from the experience of just then opening the Axiom Verge cartridge. However, when I did get the Resident Evil Revelations cartridge apart, I was a little surprised with what I found. So here is the Axiom Verge chip and board once again, and here is the Resident Evil Revelations chip. That's right, they completely omitted the board for the chip to sit on. This seems to be a way to save money during manufacturing for larger games. Revelations is a 13 gigabyte game, meaning that this is a 16 gigabyte chip, one of the more costly solutions for a physical Switch game. I guess we shouldn't be surprised to see them saving every penny they can after seeing games like NBA and WWE forcing large downloads on consumers to get the entire game. These carts must be expensive. Oh, and as for putting those 2 games back together, I used a Loctite glue around the edges to seal each cart back up. The good thing about these plastic shells is they're very light, so most standard glue set up for much larger projects work great in this case. I just glued lightly around the edges and let them sit under a heavy object for an hour. After that, I checked them both, and they work fine. A little isopropyl alcohol around the edges will clean up any glue residue, and it'll be completely fine and usable from then on. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. Hopefully this gave you an idea as to what's going on in these cartridges. I think it's very interesting that they are going as far as to remove the entire board and customize a single chip in that fashion so that the entire top part of this cartridge is completely unused. It's hollow, but they needed to do that, I guess, to save money on the chips, on the cartridges. It tells me that these are very expensive cartridges for manufacturers to create if they're going that far to eliminate anything they can to keep it cheaper. So it's very interesting to see that, and I would like to eventually look at some of the bigger ones like a 32 gig cart. I wonder if it's just the same as the 16 cart where it's just the chip itself. Very interesting to see that design, just adding pins to the bottom of the chip. You guys will have to let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, as always guys, hit the like button and it really helps out, and definitely subscribe down below for more information on different consoles, cartridges, and gaming news on the weekdays. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.